So we'll have another page, I think. Let's have a new page. Right, so rather than build another triangle, I'm going to use one of the preset shapes now. So there is a button here, enter shape. I showed you this yesterday, so I'm going to use one of the preset shapes, and I think I'll have the flag this time. I'll just show you which one I pressed. I pressed that one there and have the flag. That's just put in nominal set of coordinates. I'm going to fill the shape in as well. Okay. So I'll now say to the students, what would you like me to do with it now? I've done some reflections. What other translations do you know? And they'll come up, we can do rotation. And this is the point where I'll usually say, okay then, and I'll get one of them up on the feet or a few of them up on the feet, and I'll say, well, go on then, rotate for me. And they'll just stand there and they'll usually spin round and round like spinning tops, you know. I'll say, well, and then you'll get some of them say, well, hang on, how many degrees do you want me to turn? So, well, 90 degrees. Okay, so some will turn this way and some will turn that way. And then you'll get somebody saying anti-clockwise and clockwise. And eventually you'll tease out of them that they need a centre, they need to know which way to turn, they need to know whether it's anti-clockwise, clockwise, and by how many degrees. So, as we're going to do rotation, first of all, let's turn it into degrees. Otherwise we're going to end up in radians, and that wouldn't be good. You may want to do this one in standard mode and you wouldn't have this issue of degrees and radians. So we need to tell it a centre, we need to give it a centre, which means we need to put a point on the screen as a centre. So it's your choice entirely, wherever you want one. I'll put one there, I think, -1, 1. Bring that down a little bit. I think we'll have it snapping, it'll be easier that way. Just get rid of that one. I'll have it snapping on, it'll be better. Okay. There we go. How to get those back on? Okay, right. In order to alter anything on your toolbar, you need to actually do the, because these have lost it, haven't it? Because they don't save anything. That's right. Okay, it is. Is it view? It's view, toolbars, customize, and you can go to commands. In the back of the little booklet I gave you, it's in the appendix at the back, and it shows you the particular screenshots to get to it, to put it onto your toolbar. But it's in the commands there, and they're in the edit function. Are they in the edit? I can't remember which one they're in. Go to all the commands. It's in snap settings somewhere. Round about the middle. There we go, there's snap settings. It's around the middle somewhere. There we go, round about the middle somewhere, that's where they are. Okay, there is another way you can do it. You don't have to actually have them on your command tool. I'll show you that. Yeah.
I was just going to say that what you said yesterday about always keeping in advanced.
Yeah.
Is, you know, personally for me, I think a great idea, and I would like to have the students every time they think of an angle measure say, should it be in degrees or should it be in radians?
Yeah.
Because they have to do that with the graphing calculator, and they never do that.
That's right.
I think it's a real teachable point.
Absolutely.
And say, should it be degrees or should it be radians?
If you're teaching advanced level students, absolutely. Yeah. If you're teaching lower students who don't know anything about radians, it's perhaps better in standard level. But I agree. Yeah, it would make them think one way or the other, especially if they get pi/6 coming up and they don't know what that means. Yeah. The other way of doing it, like I say, if you want any of these things on your toolbar, you just pick them up and drag them on. These machines will just lose anything that you do. Any preferences that you do, it will lose it overnight. So perhaps a quicker way of doing it is to go up through axes and select snap settings. And that you can then put ×1, and it will do it for you. So you can change it through that if you like, and if you don't want any of those, you can put your own multiplying factor in. But the other, like I say, the other way is to go through the edit snap settings. So that was through axes and then down to there, and you can change it as you like. Okay, so I'm going to rotate this shape now. Now at the moment I'm not on equal aspect, so if I start to rotate it, it's going to seem quite odd. So that's something else I'd like to have on. So there's equal aspect again. We'll have this thing rotating in a nice circle. So I've got to tell autograph, rotate that shape around that point. So select your shape, select the point, right click, and you'll get rotation. And as you've also noticed, you'll get enlargement as well, so we'll cover that one in a moment. So we can click rotation, and it'll ask you by how much. Now it's always going to go anti-clockwise. Yeah, it will always go straight away anti-clockwise. This show construction lines, my little things over there, that's purely up to you whether you want them or not. We'll just leave them on for a moment so you can see what it does. It gives you the circle. Okay, and again, you can pick that centre up and you can move it, and your image will move along with it. Right, so that's nice and clever if you wanted a 90-degree anti-clockwise rotation. But if you don't want that, and you want something a little bit different, when you click on the rotated shape, the little lightning flash lights up. And you'll notice this with a lot of things. If that little lightning flash lights up, just click on it and see what happens. Because that's now lit up, saying that I can now animate this particular shape. So if we click on the little animation, at the moment, our angle's at 90 degrees, and we're going to move in steps of 22.5. And you can change that however you like, change it to 30s, 60s, whatever you feel is appropriate. Autograph automatically, as I say, does a 90-degree anti-clockwise rotation for you. But I want to say go 90 degrees clockwise, or I want to do 180, or I want to do 45. Clicking on each of these now will move it in 22.5 degree steps and move it around. Which again is quite neat. If you put a 30 degree in, it will do that as well. Now if you want to be really clever, you can go for the full animation. Let's go back to the 90 there. If you click animate, at the moment I'm doing it manually. So you can say automatic, do it, repeat it. Just do this, repeat, just repeat, do this animation. So we're going to start at 0 degrees, go to 360, we're going up in 4-degree increments. Okay, go. And if you notice, you've now changed into a play and a stop. So press play and it'll do it.